once I started learning, all this different stuff about balloons, I was like, this is really cool. And I saw people making like actual like sculptures with balloons. I was like, this is amazing. So I just wanted to keep learning. Balloons make people smile.
Absolutely.
And so I feel like that kind of helps. It makes me want to keep doing it.
Welcome to the Ill Noise Business Playbook. We sit down with people building real impact in their communities and unpack the vision behind their work. If you care about real stories and real connection, you're in the right place. Let's make some noise.
All right. Welcome to the Ill Noise Business Playbook. Please make sure you're following us on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We have Brooke here with Doodle Loon Balloon Designs. Did I say that right, Brooke?
Yep. Yeah.
All right. That's a wordy one for me.
Yeah.
I definitely want to get into your business and stuff, but I know your business is steeped in creativity. So I guess what I'd really like to ask you first is, where does that creative side come from you? Where did you find out that you were creative, and where did you find out that doing something creative was imperative?
I feel like I've always kind of had a creative kind of mind and interested in like different arts and stuff. My grandma was always into art. Growing up, we had her paintings like all over our house.
Nice.
So I guess it just kind of was always there. And then going into school and doing art, and then when I went into high school, that's what I did more. So this has been a really fun, like, new way of kind of coming out of the creative world.
I love it.
Yeah.
And talking about being creative, I will admit I've never heard of a doodle or a loon together. But certainly what inspired you to start your business. But please tell me, what is Doodle Loon Balloon Designs? What does that reference?
Yeah. So my husband always called me Doodlebug.
Doodlebug.
So where the doodle came from. And then loon is like when I'd be working on my balloons, my husband would be like, oh, she's loonin'. So kind of just Doodle Loon, kind of put it together.
Okay.
Yeah. And then just to make it more obvious, I put the balloon design in there. So people
Gotcha.
can...
And so what inspired you to want to start this journey?
So my sister had a baby shower, and we kind of went all out for her. And so we did like a Wizard of Oz theme, and we had a backdrop, and I was like, it needs something more. And so I went on YouTube and I learned how to make like a balloon garland.
Okay.
And so I did that for her baby shower. And then once I started learning, all this different stuff about balloons, I was like, this is really cool. And I saw people making like actual, like sculptures with balloons. I was like, this is amazing. So I just wanted to keep learning. And then I found out people do it for a job. So I was like, even better.
When was that moment? When was that moment that you realized, like, not only am I passionate about this and I seem to have affinity towards it, and it is steeped into just who I am as a creative person, but when did you make that decision that, you know what, I think I can kind of make this a business?
Yeah, it was like shortly after the baby shower, and it was so 2 years ago. Yeah, and I was like, oh my gosh, I would see people posting designs at like events or birthdays and things like that. I was like, I want to do this. This looks so much fun. And, balloons make people smile.
Absolutely.
And so I feel like that kind of helps. It makes me want to keep doing it and kind of help add to their event, take some stress out of planning. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
And when, what was that moment where you realized, like, not only you want to make this a business, but you realized, this can actually work. Like, I can actually, monetize this to a certain degree. Like, when did that moment kind of clarity come to you?
Yeah, it wasn't long after. I was just surfing like Instagram, and I was like, I think I can do this, and I was working at a Playland, Millie's Playland in Crystal Lake.
Okay.
And so I kind of see people, doing that, or like bringing it in. And I was like, I think I could bring that to the Playland. And so then I talked to the owner there, and asked him if I could you know partner with him a little bit. And so he put me on his website, and kind of went from there.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Where and are you just at his location, or what are sort of spots are people able to find you?
Yeah, I branched out a little bit more. I did kind of dabble in a wedding venue, but I'm not sure weddings are quite there yet. But yeah, birthday venues, and then I started doing like the Crystal Lake Chamber of Commerce.
Okay.
I kind of started learning how to find people that way. And surprisingly, Facebook Marketplace has been a huge way for people to find me.
Okay. Wonderful.
Yeah.
You mentioned the chamber. Are you part of the chamber there?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So that's obviously a great opportunity to network and a great opportunity to meet new people and stuff like that. Where
Yeah.
both my wife and I are part of the Algonquin Lake and the Hills Chamber, and she's on the board. So she's a big fancy pants, but
Hmm.
it's
Yeah.
been really beneficial for us,
Awesome.
just to kind of get the
Nice.
word out as far as what we're doing. So I always encourage people to be part of it, but you're already part of it. Before we had actually gotten on here, I had an opportunity to hear you talk to my wife, which I always love, but I also asked you about being married and then about being a mother. And I know you have two little boys. They're 2 and 5, as you were telling me. Um,
Yep.
what do you think? How do you think being a mother has helped shape your business?
Ooh. I think multitasking is definitely one of those things that has helped, because um now that I have two, having to manage and multitask with each kid, kind of I do a lot of things on the fly, and sometimes as a mom you have to do that stuff. So
Yeah.
learn as you go, and just like adapting. So uh yeah, it's been fun, and whenever I have the house is like filled with balloons, the boys are like, "Wow!" So it's a lot of fun to see them react to it.
I bet. Where where do you get your creative ideas from? Like where do you think that I know you have a creative base already, but like, you have to sit there and you have to think of different ways to be as creative as possible to be able to provide your products. Where does that stem from? Where does that come from?
Yeah, I every so far I haven't done the same theme twice, and I've been
Okay.
doing it for 2 years. So, um, I am always looking to see like new ways to like kind of put balloons together, or how to get like cutouts. And I'm always, if it's Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, like I am searching constantly for like new ways to kind of come up with um like a design, or like to fit the theme. So I'm
Okay.
always looking for something.
You're always doing your research.
Yeah.
Love it. Love it. Now, where do you envision this going? Like, do you see yourself having a brick and mortar location yourself at some point, or like, in if you can just envision your future, what would you like to see happen with Doodle Loon Balloon Design? By the way, let me just say really quick, I love the fact that you have your company name right behind you, because then I just looking right at it, I'm like, oh, I know I'm
Yeah.
saying it correctly here, so that's great. But
Yeah.
where do you see yourself in, let's say, 5 years from now?
Love to have a storefront, in the front of the store, people could, pick little party things. And then in the back, I can just have like, you know, big balloons, blown up in the back. And um, a van would be great, because right now I use U-Haul. So
Gosh,
having
okay.
my own van, yeah. Um, and maybe like a couple employees would be really cool too.
That's
I'd
all.
love that.
Okay. I've got a really good friend that I worked with a long time ago, and she would always tell me, "Speak it into existence." So, Brooke, speak it
Yes.
into existence. It's going to happen. It's definitely going to happen. Can you share with us a party you were a part of, or something that just I'm sure. Listen, you are the bearer of good news. When you
Yeah.
show up, usually you're going to good things, right? It's the balloon
Yeah.
lady. I love this person. But can you think about an event you did or something you were able to participate in that still to this day just puts a big old smile on your face?
Ooh. So I did a big balloon arch for Vasa um fitness gym. They did a grand opening, and so that was cool. That was probably my biggest arch that I've ever done. And so uh when I came back to pick it up after a week, I took it down, and some of the like instructors were kind of standing around, and they saw me start to pop them, and they came over with pens, and they were like ba 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 ba, like they just started popping them too. So that was fun. It made it a little more exciting.
That's awesome. That is so
Yeah.
awesome. Um, you There was some sort of bike ride
Oh yeah.
that you had participated in with. I lost my father when I was very young, but I still have my mother, and any experience I have with my mother just stands out to me like crazy. And I know you're able to do something like that with your mother. So talk
Yeah.
about that. What made you guys decide to do what you did? What did you do? And yeah, let's hear all about it.
Okay, yeah. So, my mom actually got me into it. So her mom had lung cancer, and she passed away from it. And so that's around the time when Lance Armstrong was really big and the Tour de France and everything. So, yeah, so she kind of like looked more into him, and she found that Live Strong had a team on this ride called Ragbri in Iowa.
Okay.
So she was like, I'm going to do it. And so um, you you start on one side of the state, and then it's 7 days you ride and you camp all the way, and you go all the way across Iowa, and it is so much fun. It is so much fun.
That is so cool. And
It is really cool.
did you experience any weather issues along the way? That's always what I've always been worried about with stuff like that.
Yes, definitely. There was one year, I can't, they all kind of blur together, but there was one year where this storm was coming in, and we decided to take a shortcut. But what we didn't realize was that shortcut was on the support route. So there were cars, trucks, like semi trucks. It was like pouring rain, like the rain
Oh,
hurt as it hit you. There was thunder, lightning bolts in the cornfields. It was a lot. So, but yeah, luckily we found a town, and we just like filled this bar. And then we were helping the bartender in the back, like cleaning and stuff. So it's an experience, but it's definitely worth it. It's definitely worth it.
and is that something you kind of referenced that you've done more than one? Is that something that you're just doing constantly or
I did it. I haven't done it since the boys, but I did it 8 years.
8 years?
Yeah. Yeah. I did it 8 times. So um yeah, it's a really cool experience, and Iowa is not flat. So
No, it is not. It's really pretty actually, but
it is beautiful.
to drive through it, but to ride through it.
Yeah.
How, and how long did you guys ever quantify how long the distance was that you guys were actually riding?
Yeah, so you get a map, or you get a map of every day, and then it shows you the climb and the hills and everything. And then it adds up, like, the amount of mileage. So every year it's in a different spot. It's never the same route, because it brings in so much to these small towns. Thousands of people are riding through these towns, and it just kind of boosts their economy. So they have it, you know, go in different spots. But it can be anywhere from like 500 to like 400 miles. It all kind of depends on the year.
Nice. And are you
Yeah.
from Iowa then? Why was Iowa the location that you go to?
That's where it started.
Okay.
So yeah, this guy in like the 70s worked for a newspaper. He was a journalist, and he's like, I'm going to go on this bike ride and write about it. And then he wrote about it, and then he did it the next year, and people started to follow him, and every year it got bigger and bigger, and so then it turned into what it is now.
That's
So,
beautiful.
but yeah, that's Live Strong. So there's a bunch of different teams, and Live Strong was a part of that. They had their own team, and
Okay.
so they moved our luggage and everything for us every day, so we didn't have to like carry it with us.
Okay.
They had vehicles that took us to the next town.
I'm sure
Yeah.
many people that are watching this can concur, but I once had a Live Strong bracelet that I was wearing for quite a long time. I lost my father to cancer, so it's always been something that really been supportive. You mentioned your mother a lot. What is it about your mother that you admire and hold so dearly to your heart?
She's just a great person. She's always been like so open to talking to people, and um she's always been very caring and like thoughtful, and so she would take me on random trips. We went to Indianapolis to meet or to ride with Lance Armstrong on the Indy 500. We'd go camping, and so yeah, we've just done a lot of like fun things together. So yeah.
Do you do you see a reflection of yourself when you think about your mother? Can you see that there's some attributes that you have that you certainly carry on from your mom?
Yeah, I hope so. I I try to be open to people, and she's so good about like connecting with other people and things, like that. So I would love to, be like that. And even with the kids, like so good with my kids. She took them to the park right now so I could have this time, you know.
Nice.
So I'd love to do that. Carry that
That's
on.
beautiful.
Yeah.
That's so beautiful. You know, as you've been
Yeah.
continuing with your business, when you look back to when you started your business, we all should always learn from the whole process of running a business, right? So, I could tell you with confidence what we're doing nowadays is much different than when we first started our journey with our business. Um, but what do you wish that you knew back when you started that you know now?
Um, Probably how to I wish I knew how to size my balloons better. So then that way they didn't look all crazy. So now they
Okay.
look a little formed, they look a little nicer. Um, Probably not to stress as much and trust the process. Trust the process is a big one.
Great. We're really, again, I've got a background in psychology as well. And I worked in not-for-profit sector. I worked with back in my younger days, I worked with DCFS kids that come from these horrible environments and stuff like that. But mental health has always been something that's such a priority. You mentioned stress, and I'd love for you to share different ways that you've figured out. And you're a mom now too. You're a mom of two little guys. I can tell you, my mother, God bless her, she's still with us. Boy, did I probably put her through a lot. I was the
Yeah.
ram one, and my brother was a little bit more calm. But how do you manage stress? How do you deal with those days that are a little challenging?
Yeah. I actually think being a server too, when I was before kids, before COVID, I was a server, and that could be a pretty high stressful
Absolutely.
and you're busy and you're just trying to go.
Been there,
Um,
done that. Yes.
yeah, so I think
Yes.
that has helped me a lot too, as well as the kids. But yeah, just staying focused and um, making sure I have everything before I have to, go off and do a setup. The night before, I try and put everything together, set myself up for success. And that is very helpful.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
How did you end up finding out about us?
Um, I I met Neha at a chamber event,
Okay.
and yeah, she's just so nice and so sweet.
She
So
is very much.
yeah, so she told me about your business, and I was like, oh, cool. So I've immediately started following you guys, and I love it. I think this is really great. Yeah,
Yes. Well, first off, I could not agree more with everything you said about my wife. She's
yeah,
one of the sweetest, most genuine people you'll ever meet. She's somebody that really wants others to win. She wants others to shine. She wants to lift others up, and I know you see that.
yeah.
Um, but it's great. But the whole reason we're able to do this is because she usually is the one that meets all these wonderful people. And now you get to be part of everything we're doing here. So we feel
Yeah, it's
very
cool.
grateful that that's the case. What would people that are thinking to start a business, what is some advice that you could give those individuals? Everyone knows when you start a business, you're not going to be making money hand over fist right
Right,
off the bat, right? Because if that was the case, you'd have your store right now and everything else, right? So this is all a
right.
process. It's all building. It's all developing. But what sort of advice would you give to somebody that's a future entrepreneur out there?
I think to um not like just to take your time, like you said, it's not going to happen overnight. Um you got to kind of find your people, see what, kind of figure out what your market might be, and kind of find out ways to find those people. Um and just do a bunch of research, and yeah, just put yourself out there, honestly. Just go for it. Why not,
Life YOLO, right? You only live once. Your
Yeah,
life is short.
go
Just
for
go
it.
out there and do
Yeah.
it.
If it makes you
And
happy, especially.
well, and I again, when I think back to what I had been doing, and I had like more financial security and everything else, and I sort of had lost the passion that was within me of like doing what I really wanted to do. And I'm right there with you. Don't sacrifice who you want to be and what you're passionate about just for a paycheck. Because
Yeah.
you'll end up, getting a six head like I got. I used to have a four head and it kept going up, and I have a six head now. But do what you love, and if you do what you love,
Yeah.
my grandpa used to always telling me this: if you're doing what you love with your work, then it's not work at all. It's just fulfilling your purpose. So I think that's
Yeah.
beautiful. This creativity is really beautiful. My brother's a published author, twice published author. He's definitely a very creative individual, and I always really um, look up to people that are creative. Quite frankly, because not everybody can kind of do it. I kind of show it in my own way, but when you're providing somebody one of your balloons, and you've spent this time and your time and your effort, you're really trying to figure out the best way that you can do something. Once somebody receives it, what are you hoping that they feel inside when they get your balloon designs?
I really hope that, you know, it's what it's what they were looking for, it's what they wanted. Um, that it can just make, it can make them smile and be excited about whatever it is they're celebrating, to give it just a little bit more, a little bit of a boost. So,
That's beautiful.
yeah.
There's so many things we can do in this world, but when we try to do something that can make somebody happy, um, there's so much value in that. And you're helping create a better world one balloon at a time.
Yeah.
And I think that's really beautiful. And you can tell how much you love it. And you can tell that you're obviously fulfilling your purpose right now. And I think that's great. Um, when you first came up with this idea, were you supported from all your loved ones? Were they like, "Yeah, this is you, Brooke. Like, go for it."
Yeah. I have had like other ideas, like, oh, maybe I can do, because I am creative. So then I find things that I'm like, oh, well, maybe I can turn this into like a job or whatever. But um, this time it was different. And I think my husband saw that, and so he was like, go for it, sure, why, go for it, see what happens. So I did, and yeah, he's been very supportive. He's the one that got me this sign. So
Great sign, Brooke. It's a great sign.
yeah,
It's just like my wife said before, but it's popping. It really is. It looks great on
yeah.
camera.
Oh, good. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. And so, I'll be like, oh, I kind of want to do, there's a market coming up. And so I'm like, I think a market would be kind of fun. So he's like, yeah, go for it. I'm like, great. I'm so, in July I'm going to do that. And he's been so supportive. And then I think once my family saw that it was actually kind of becoming like a real thing, they were like, oh, cool. Yeah, you need help. My dad has come with me on a couple of different jobs. My mom helps me with the kids, and she's come with me. Sometimes I drive like an hour away. And so I'll just be kind of like by myself. So I'm like, Mom, you want to come with me? And she's like, sure. So,
That's beautiful.
um, so yeah, so that's made it fun. Yeah. Um, the support from family has been really awesome.
That's
Yeah.
beautiful. That's
Yeah.
beautiful. Um, more, Morgan Freeman once said, "How you can change the world is one random act of kindness at a time." Right? It's one of my favorite quotes, and I think what you're doing is really kind of fulfilling that, for sure. Um, so when your father comes with, do you call him Daddy Daddy Doodle Loon or
Yeah.
no?
That's awesome.
But maybe,
I'm going to
hey,
tell him that now.
yes, you can steal that. No copyright infringements. I promise. Um, this is it's really great to see somebody that is trying to create positivity.
Yeah.
This world can be a challenging place for some folks. And we'd sort of talked about managing stress. A lot of people get stressed out too easily. I was around somebody for a while that was like that. I think when you can really do something to help, you really kind of figure it out. You really kind of live in life, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
If somebody, if is it just, are you just picking out little sporadic events to go to? Are you going to festivals? Are you going to, there's a rib fest in Lake in the Hills that I would advise maybe you show up to and you swing by for a couple reasons. But are those priorities? Now that it's getting to be, we're going to release this later than when we're doing this right now, but it's still basically summer right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that something that's a high priority for you? Are you always finding different festivals and stuff that you can kind of get a table and promote your products?
Yes. So I will be doing the Rib Fest, Rotary Fest. I'm going to be like a vendor there. So I'm really excited for that. I have some big ideas on that one. But it will be my first one, so we'll kind of see. I did do an event at now I'm not going to think of it, but the drive-in, the outdoor theater, McKenzie
Yes.
Outdoor Theater. They
Yes.
had like an Easter event there,
Okay.
so I did something for that, but I didn't have a table. But I kind of walked around and just talked to people, so that was fun. Um, but yeah, I think having a table will be really cool and kind of see how that goes.
What's the best way that you're marketing you just sort of mentioned social media, that you're always on there. Is that the best form of marketing that you found along the way?
That's kind of been the biggest one. I have walked around the neighborhood and like passed out flyers. Um, Facebook Marketplace really it's really where people have found me the most. I didn't really see that coming, but it's worked, so that's good. And yeah, just talking to people has been like word of mouth has been the best way to get the name out. Yeah.
And it's the cheapest. It's the cheapest way
It
of
is. Yeah.
advertising too, right? I mean, that's the way to do it.
Yep.
Um, well, listen, Brooke, I really appreciate you spending some time with us. I hope you had a little fun. We've certainly been chuckling and laughing and smiling along the way, and I always know that's going to be a good interview. You definitely you exude positivity. You've got energy that's shining through, and again, for somebody to just decide that to match what they're passionate about with their practice, I think that's really what life's all about, and you're obviously doing so. So I will be looking at you for you at the Rotary Club event,
Awesome.
and you need to
Yeah.
look for me too because myself
Absolutely.
and my wife will be there. But thank
Awesome.
you so much for spending some time with us, Brooke. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Got it. You have a good day. Okay.
Thank you.
You got it.